Across civilizations and centuries, humanity returns to the same question. If God exists, why doesn't He reveal Himself physically? It is an ancient longing, the desire to see what is unseen, to confirm what the soul perceives but cannot touch. Yet the Scriptures recount moments when God did appear, to the patriarchs, to Moses, to the prophets, and ultimately in Jesus Christ, within the Second Testament. These moments mark intersections between the eternal and the temporal. So why would a God who once revealed Himself now seem silent, almost hidden? This investigative journey, presented on the channel Chokhmah, seeks to explore that mystery. To begin, we must revisit the sacred accounts where God made Himself visible. Chapter 1. God has already revealed Himself, a biblical overview. Before the fall, humanity lived in perfect transparency. Adam and Eve saw God directly, without distance, as if the Creator's breath illuminated every corner of the garden. A Hebrew expression refers to shalom, a state of completeness and harmony, for before the rupture, nothing obscured God's presence. But after the fall, everything changed. Divine visibility became rare, momentary, veiled. God still appeared, yet only in deliberate, selective moments. It is written, "The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of the bush." Exodus 3:2. The burning bush is one of the first signs of a God who speaks without fully revealing His form. Other moments followed. The three men at the oaks of Mamre, the manifestations in the Exodus, cloud by day, fire by night, and the visions of Isaiah or Ezekiel, where the infinite breaks into human perception. It is written, "I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up." Isaiah 6:1. Yet the highest revelation is not fire nor vision, but a person, Jesus Christ. The one who, in the writings of the Second Testament, declares, "He who has seen me has seen the Father." In Him, God made Himself visible once for all within human history. And so another question rises. If God once revealed Himself so clearly, why does His visibility seem absent today? Chapter 2. Why doesn't God reveal Himself physically today? Even today, God still reveals Himself, but in a different way. Where the patriarchs saw form, modern humanity receives a word, an inner presence, a transformed life. A Greek word, pneuma, speaks of the Spirit, the living breath through which God guides and comforts. Through Scripture, He leaves a stable witness. Through the Spirit, He speaks within. Through creation, He signs the cosmos with intention. Through transformed lives, He makes the invisible visible. But if God revealed Himself physically to everyone, human freedom would collapse. Faith would become mere observation. Mystery would turn into psychological compulsion. It is written, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." John 20:29. And even in the face of miracles, humanity would demand more. one sign would not be enough. One revelation would be challenged or denied. Even Pharaoh witnessed signs, yet hardened his heart. It is written, Pharaoh's heart grew hard, and he did not listen. Exodus 7:13. Thus, the real question shifts, not why doesn't God show himself, but why do we fail to see what he already shows? This reflection opens the path toward another truth, our limited ability to withstand his glory. Chapter 3. Human limitations. We could not endure his glory. From the earliest writings of the First Testament comes a solemn warning. No one can behold God directly and survive. It is written, "No one can see me and live." Exodus 33:20. This is not a threat, but a spiritual reality. Fragile humanity cannot withstand the intensity of the infinite. Yet Scripture also mentions people who saw God and lived. A paradox only in appearance. What they saw was not God's pure essence, but a moderated form, a revelation adapted to human frailty. Theophanies, visions, filtered manifestations, glimpses softened by mercy. A Hebrew term, kabod, expresses the idea of glory, the radiant heaviness of divine presence, a force so overwhelming that God himself must veil it to protect mankind. The veil is not distance but care, not concealment but preservation. And this leads to a more subtle question. If God revealed himself today, how could we be certain that the revelation truly came from him? Chapter 4. Discernment. If God appeared, how could we know it's truly him? If God appeared today, could humanity truly recognize him? Our world is saturated with illusions. Stage magicians recreate the impossible. David Copperfield once made landmarks vanish before live audiences. Deepfakes mimic faces. Artificial intelligence generates voices, figures, even entire scenes indistinguishable from reality. Cinema produces visuals more convincing than memory. False wonders multiply at alarming speed. In such a landscape, the human eye is no longer a trustworthy witness. Videos circulate of performers walking on water, imitating a gesture reserved in Scripture for the divine. And yet everything is technique, camera angles, choreography, deception. Modern humanity remains remarkably easy to fool. This is why God refuses spectacle. His presence is not meant to entertain. He does not reveal himself for applause, but for transformation. It is written, "The Lord was not in the wind, nor in the fire, but in a gentle whisper." True revelation is never a show. It is a quiet encounter. Thus the question becomes, if God did appear, would we even know what we are looking at? And this leads naturally to the heart of the journey. Faith is walked, not watched. Chapter 5. Faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. From the earliest believers, a spiritual law has shaped the journey. Faith is born not from what we see, but from what we choose to trust. It is written, "We walk by faith, not by sight." 2 Corinthians 5:7. If God revealed himself openly every day, faith would vanish. There would be no inner decision, no trust, no seeking, only an imposed certainty. This earthly life is precisely the arena where faith is formed. Here the soul is shaped, refined, expanded. Here trust is built, layer by layer, until it becomes a structure strong enough to carry eternity. And yet, despite the apparent silence, one truth remains. God reveals himself to those who genuinely seek him. It is written, "You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." Jeremiah 29:13. Faith, then, is not the absence of evidence, but the preparation for the day when all will be revealed, a day when God will show himself to all. Chapter 6. The Final Return. God will reveal himself to all. For centuries, a prophecy has echoed through the Second Testament like a distant thunder. One day, God will reveal himself openly to every human being. It is written, "Every eye shall see him." For generations, the question remained, how could one appearance be seen by the entire world? Today, the answer is far clearer. We live in an age where information travels instantly. A single phone can capture an event and transmit it globally within seconds. A broadcast can reach all nations at once. Media networks have turned the world into a single viewing room. What once seemed impossible is now part of everyday life. The prophecy doesn't fade, it becomes intelligible. Yet that moment has been reserved. God will not reveal himself physically until the time appointed, the day Scripture calls the day of the Lord. Until then, his invisibility is not abandonment, it is preparation. And within that waiting, a quieter truth emerges. Even unseen, God continues to reveal himself differently. Chapter 7. God already reveals himself, but differently. That God no longer appears physically does not mean he is absent. His presence moves quietly through human lives like a light that does not force, but gently transforms. He reveals himself through the work of the Spirit, the inner prompting that guides, comforts, and convicts. A presence unseen, yet unmistakable in its effects. He reveals himself through transformed lives, when anger becomes peace, when hatred dissolves, when despair finds direction. Every genuine change of heart bears his imprint. He reveals himself through answered prayers, sometimes obvious, sometimes subtle. At times, the answer is an event, at times, a newfound peace. It is written, "Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you." James 4:8. The teachings of Jesus remain another form of revelation. His words carry unchanged power across centuries, illuminating conscience and restoring direction. And finally, he reveals himself through creation. The cosmos, with its precise balance, speaks of intention rather than accident. It is written, "The heavens declare the glory of God." Psalm 19:1. Thus, even unseen, God leaves traces everywhere. And these traces prepare the heart for the final understanding of his apparent silence.
Conclusion.
At the end of this journey, a clear truth emerges. God has already revealed himself in history, in Scripture, and in Jesus Christ. And he still reveals himself today, though differently, through the Spirit, through transformed lives, through subtle signs woven into our days. And one day, according to Scripture, he will reveal himself openly to all. Between the first revelation and the final unveiling echoes a quiet promise: those who seek, find. This concludes the exploration presented by Chokhmah, and next week we turn to a new question. Why are there so many religions?